Robbie Lawler versus Donald Cerrone. This fight is happening at UFC 213, and these two guys are some of the most exciting fighters out there. Donald Cerrone is the kind of fighter that likes to submit you, likes to use real technical striking, and likes to confuse his opponent, hit him somewhere where they're not looking, and then take him out. And he's put on tremendous winning streaks. He fights a lot. He's able to go out there and fight every few months. Donald Cerrone is everywhere. If you watch a UFC Embedded or anything, you're going to see Donald Cerrone. He's going to be there. That's what kind of guy he is. He's a non-stop type of guy that goes around life and wants to do everything, from skydiving to fighting to who knows? That's the type of guy Donald Cerrone is. While Robbie Lawler is the ruthless one. He's an animal. He's been that way since he was a young guy in UFC. We all remember the Nick Diaz fight. And Robbie Lawler changed. He put on a lot of muscle. He learned a lot about fighting. And he learned to fix his mistakes. Early on, Robbie Lawler had a few mistakes. He was all out war. He wanted to go out there and just level you, take you out. Pure brutality, mutilization, just wanted to go out there and hurt his opponent, and he didn't mind if he gave everything he got. In other words, Robbie Lawler might have stopped, and he might have not been able to give anymore. And we saw the change on this guy. We saw it in the Rory McDonald fight, and we saw one of the greatest fights we had ever seen. And Robbie was becoming a true champion since he beat Johnny Hendricks. He fought that amazing Rory McDonald fight, and then he beat Carlos Condit, and we were really wondering if Robbie was going to start winning fight after fight after fight. He has 27 wins and 20 knockouts, so we know what he wants to do. He's wanted to do the same thing he wanted to do his entire career, except he does it in a smarter way now. He wants to knock your head off, and he's just an all-out warrior. Robbie Lawler is one of the most fun fighters to watch of all time. I'm not afraid to say it. And matching these two guys up is like just making the perfect meal or making the perfect drink. This is perfection. And this is going to be a sick fight. So, although both these guys are coming off losses, and Donald Cerrone lost a tough fight to Jorge Masvidal, a guy who really knows the game, and he was knocked out. I think both these guys have recipes in order to beat each other. In other words, Donald Cerrone, if he can get his strikes in, he wants to submit you. And I think that Robbie Lawler can be submitted on the ground. We've seen it before. And although he was knocked out by Tyron Woodley, we don't really envision Robbie getting knocked out. You know, we think Robbie can just take a tremendous hit. And fortunately for Tyron, he was able to dish one out. So, you know, same thing true with Donald Cerrone. If you want to beat Donald Cerrone, you got to knock him out. That's what you got to do. He's a tough fighter, and this is going to be a 3-round fight. I don't think this is going to be a 5-round fight. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't know yet. And I think both these guys are going to be really tough coming off losses. They're not the type of fighters who lose too often. They usually dominate their opponents. So I think both these guys are going to be training real hard. Robbie hasn't been in the cage for a while. He decided to take a break. And this fight was supposed to happen at UFC 205, and I think Robbie was the one who said he wanted a break. So we haven't seen Robbie since UFC 201. Robbie Lawler's 35 years old. Donald Cerrone's 34. You know, they're very similar in age. Donald Cerrone is a little bit taller, but, you know, similar in height. Similar hearts. Both these guys have tremendous hearts. So I'm going to go with Robbie here. I think Robbie took a good break. I think he's learned a lot as a fighter. I think he's going to be the better fighter here. And I think Donald Cerrone's going to lose the fight. But wouldn't be surprised if Cerrone won.